Hey everyone, I'm CJ, and today I'm going to get under the covers of Hairstyles of the Damned by Meno. Before I do, I marked my progress with my friend Justin's business card. Justin is a tattooer slash artist slash musician, and he does my tattoos for me. And this is the most recent one he did. It's from the book The Invention of Hugo Cabret, and I'll put pictures up maybe one day. Anyways, this book, Hairstyles of the Damned by Meno, it was released in 2004 or published in 2004, and I gotta say I really enjoyed this book. A lot of people compare it to my favorite book of all time, Salad Days by Charles Romalotti, and I can see the comparisons. A kid grows up in a music scene. He tries to find his identity through a music scene, like the metal kids or the gothic kids or the what have yous, and Brian, the main character, Brian Oswald, starts off as a metalhead kid. Listens to Slayer, Metallica, Iron Maiden, like all kinds of stuff like that. And then he slowly starts to get into this phase where he's listens to more classical rock, and then becomes kind of a stoner, if you will. And then he slowly fades into the punk scene and really digs like bands like the Misfits and 7 Seconds, which are two of my favorite bands. So I can relate to him on that. But it's a big commentary on Chicago during the '90s, especially in the Oak Lawn, Oak Park area, and if you're familiar with how Chicago was at that time, it's a very depicts it very accurately. It's also a commentary on high school life. It's there's really not a plot. He has a crush on his best friend Gretchen, and do they get together in the end? I don't know. You have to read it and find out. He makes friends with a lot of different people throughout high school, but he's still like a lot of high school based or high school set novels. The main character kind of has a hard time fitting in, or when he does fit in, he feels like still doesn't fit in. And this is kind of a lot like that, but it's set more of like in a music scene. He goes to basement shows, a lot of like high school parties, and it's just a really cool book. Brian has a weird obsession with getting laid in this book, which I think a lot of high school kids go through. But that's one of the things that kind of irked me about this book. It was like a lot about like how he was trying to get girls to make out with him, or trying to have sex with girls. And I think that a lot of high school kids think that. I thought about that when I was in high school too. But like he kind of almost makes it a point to like try to get laid, and I think that's one of the downsides sides of this book. But that's part of like high school life. I think is that whole sexual frustration and rage that you've pent up in you. Anyways, I'm trying not to do my reviews too long, so I'm gonna read a passage and then I'm gonna give it a rating, and then yeah. So here we go. This is on page 269. By the way, this book is 270 pages, and I'm reading from page 269. You don't really get spoiled, but this is like a passage I thought that really stood out and really describes the character Brian and his high school life. So I'm gonna start. It would always be a put on, high school or not, for the whole rest of the world, for the rest of our lives. You couldn't ever guess who somebody was by the way they looked, because good or bad, the way they looked was always just a costume or an act. It was Halloween every day for most people anyway, just to feel like they weren't alone, to belong, just to keep being happy. Maybe everyone else might go on thinking that people were just what you saw: the clothes, the haircuts, the cars, but not me, even though it seemed the whole world kind of worked that way, a put on. Only interested in the appearance of things like your class, your race, whether you were a boy or girl, all the stuff you couldn't really change anyway. It seemed really hard to grow out of that. Maybe all you could do was try your best, try not to judge people from the way they appear to be, I guess. I decided I might try to do that. Try not to make decisions about everyone by what I saw because of how small and wrong that was. But it seemed that was just the way my brain worked. That all I could do was keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. I thought maybe that's what growing up might do for me, maybe, which was kind of scary. So, that's kind of, a lot of what Brian's dealing with in this book, his high school life. And I like how it's a commentary on not just his own scene, but everyone else's scene, like in a lot of punk rock fiction, it always depicts, the punk rockers as the individual. And I can, there's elements of truth in that, but when you think about it, they a lot of them dress the same, a lot of them, like the same bands. Well, that's different, but, that's part of the scene, I guess. But, they always kind of depict the people in the mainstream crowds, like the jocks or the preps or the cheerleaders or whatever, as, all the same person. And Joe Meno does an awesome thing in this book by showing that no matter what scene you're from, you're kind of all the same person, and you're all the same people together because you're all playing, these different, charades with each other based on what you're wearing. What you're wearing isn't really who you are, and there's a lot of elements of that throughout the book, and there's a lot of elements of, afraid of just being yourself and really talking to people as who you are. And I know because I experienced that when I was in high school. I felt, sometimes I had to, be a different person to people. And I think that's, it's part of high school, I guess, unfortunately. So I don't want to get too philosophical about high school life. But I just want to say this book is really good. There's a lot of references to bands. It's really funny. It's very lewd and inappropriate, which kids like, I like. So I'm gonna give this book a 5 out of 5 stars because 4.5 out of 5 stars. 4 3/4. 4 3/4 stars out of 5 because I really enjoyed it. Obviously I love music. I grew up listening to a lot of the bands that are mentioned in this book. So I'm gonna give it 4 3/4 stars. Mostly because of the sentimentality of it, and a lot of it too because of how great of a writer Joe Meno is. And right after I read this, I went to the library and picked up one of his other books, and I'm gonna read that once summer vacation hits. So yeah, Hairstyles of the Damned, 4.5 stars or 4 3/4. Why do I keep doing it? Last one. Hairstyles of the Damned by Joe Meno, 4 3/4 stars. Anyways, I don't know what I'm going to read next. School is really kicking my ass right now. I have 3 weeks left. 3 weeks left, yeah, 3 weeks left, and I'm done reading. I don't have to read anything for school anymore, so that's good. So I'll have more time to read, but less time to do work or to make videos. So, anyways, I'm rambling. So I don't know what I'm going to read next. It's going to be a mystery. Maybe I'll put a video up letting everyone know. Or if you have any recommendations, I've been getting some recommendations from people. If anyone else has any recommendations, leave them in the comments. If you've read Hairstyles of the Damned and really want to know, I really want to know what you think about it. So let me know what you think about it in the comments. The like button's over here if you like the video. A lot of people are telling me they like my videos, but I don't get that many likes. Like a lot of people in person or on Facebook will tell me. So if you're watching it, don't tell me on Facebook or in person. Just hit the like button. It's right there. It's just one click. And thanks everyone for subscribing. I just hit my 1,000 video mark. That's really, really cool. If you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button up there. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Later.